Market right now for entry-level positions. I called up a couple friends of mine the last couple of weeks just to ask them what's going on in their companies too. And most companies are hoarding cash, like no tomorrow, right? They don't know how bad the situation is going to be over the next year or two, right? So there is a hiring freeze right now. So there are positions available, but they're just a lot more rare than before, especially at the entry-level position. Because if there's a need for companies for a certain position, they'll hire people. But usually they want people with 5 to 20 years experience. So because of that, I think everyone should have the willingness to adapt to new roles. If you, let's say you want to be an engineer, but you have a position opening for a technician, you should have the willingness to take it, just even for a year. Because any experience is not, what's the saying? Bad experience. Any experience is good experience. So, whatever you do, it's really going to help you because staying employed looks better on your resume than staying unemployed and doing nothing. Right? They're like, "What are you doing there?" "Oh, smoking pot or something." So another thing is character skills, right? Someone said, I've come for nothing else but to teach good character, good morals, right? And it really stands out because I think that along with technical, like for engineering, along with technical skills, having good character is really important because you're working with a lot of different people. You're on time crunches. Everyone's stressed out. So having patience, being honest, having integrity really makes you stand out over the next person. Okay, I think I'm out of time. I have 5 minutes, right?
Oh,
Yeah, exactly.
I will cover you.
Huh?
I have this back.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, well, Jazakallah khair.
While Ahmed is pulling up his PowerPoint, I just want to throw out the word dawah came up, and I think we need to clarify that dawah is not necessarily putting a table out. Right? Dawah is just not being cliquey. I think the definition of dawah is talking to other people. They talk to you, you talk back. Nice, that equals dawah. I feel like I'm a walking dawah when I'm working at LA County Hospital. So just want to throw that out.
So far, that's because you can be identified as Muslim,
But
which is
you
good,
know,
which is excellent.
Like your name will identify you as Muslim too. It's okay.
No, I'm Mexican. I'm just saying. I had a bunch of high school friends who thought I was
You have no idea.
Alright, assalamu alaikum everyone. I hope we're trying to liven this up, I guess, because it's getting sort of late. But I know there are some of you here that have been waiting to hear my piece, because like some people here, I am sort of in limbo. And what does that mean? It means that I planned for something, and I applied for it, but it didn't happen. Guess what? I didn't have a plan then either. I didn't have a plan B. Everyone said, you should get a plan B. I said, plan B? I don't do plan B. I get things done. Well, guess what? I didn't. It was tough. It was tough. And so that's why I think this is a very important topic to cover. So, surviving life's limbo periods. There are many limbo periods in life. This is one of them. The other one's going to be like in 40 years, when you wonder what you've done wrong. Okay, so there are a lot of expectations. In a society that demands perfection, we find ourselves in a lot of discomforting situations. So let me just cover the cultural and societal perspectives that act upon us as students. Expectations from the parents, from the diaspora, like the culture, expectations from our professors, from our friends. By the way, did I say my name is Ahmed Ibrahim? Sorry. My name is Ahmed Ibrahim, and I am yeah, that's right. I'm an MPH, and I work at Environmental Health and Safety, Biosafety Officer. I don't arrest people, I just, anyway. So, those forces act upon us, and they dictate not only what we choose, but also how we react when things go bad, right? So this is one aspect to consider, and this is one aspect that requires some resistance. On the other hand, there's an Islamic perspective that not only caters to our own success, but it also caters to our personal needs. The needs to be accepted, the need to feel like you're accomplished. self-fulfillment, all these things that we just don't find in the society. And with that in mind, hopefully we can sort of map out survival to success. And by success, I mean, of course, success to the hereafter, but in the short term, success to whatever you couldn't make to in the very beginning, back when you graduated, right? Well, forward, or something. So there's two types of rough transitions, right? You can be an engineer who's done, everything that you had to get your bachelor's, right? And then you apply to a job in an economy like this, and guess what? Nobody's hiring. And if they're hiring like 60-year-olds, like people that have they've been in the business for so long, and it's so hard, and you feel like you're just carving you're mining in steel, or it's difficult, right? And the other more prevalent difficulty is that you plan to go to college, like medical school, like graduate school, but for one reason or another, things didn't pan out. Well, here's some of the reasons why. The first reason is that you're underperformed. Your grades weren't up to par, you're missing some sort of experience that really was the Achilles heel. And I think Ahmed made an excellent point, that when you're missing a certain type of experience, sometimes it's a killer. The other thing is that you're so unaware of the applications and the process and so on and so forth, that it becomes untimely. When I applied to med school, my application was verified on December, January, something close to that. Because I didn't realize that there was a waiting period for your transcripts to come in, and I said I'd turn in my transcripts at the last minute. Right? Crazy. Yeah, I know, really, Egyptians. So also extra personal reasons, like, living in a bad economy. But then you're like, that should change. So when the first letter comes in, it's devastating. I know it's devastating to me. I know my sister remembers. I was running up and down, just doing all sorts of crazy things, and then another. And it was discouraging, right? Because now all of a sudden this invincible image of yourself has all of a sudden been shattered, right? Just like the invincible perception of the Israelis was shattered in Gaza, right? But it shatters your self-confidence, and it makes you question, what have you done wrong, right? When you've dedicated like 4 years of your life, and